Welcome, friends. Thanks for stopping by. Grab something sweet to drink and let's get crafting. Well, hello there, friends. It's been quite a while since I've filmed or shared any videos here in my channel. There's been a lot of stuff going on here at home. Nothing bad, but definitely things that have distracted me and put my mindset in a different mode where I haven't been feeling much like crafting and making my way up into my craft room. My husband's work is relocating us, and I have been having a hard time accepting. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited about this move. It's been hard for me to actually accept it. A lot of times when I talk about it, I say, oh, there's a chance that we're gonna be moving. Most likely we're gonna be moving. We have a high percentage of moving, all of that, when in reality is that we are. Not now. In a year or so, we have to wait until my son graduates high school. He's a senior this year. And so, and I think that because we've been waiting, or I have been waiting, well, we all have been waiting, but we have, been thinking and figuring things out and planning things and waiting for his company for all sorts of confirmation. So when a move like this is it's not happening quickly, I think you have so much time to think about it, and that's when you have time to really ponder on what if we don't like it, what if we're not gonna get used to it. Not like that, but what if we can't find the right house and the prices are so high, and all these questions and wondering that we or I get stuck in my head. And so it just kind of freezes me. And so again, if they would have done it like, okay, we're moving and we're starting to pack and things like that, then I would not have so much time to think about it, and we just go with it. But that's not the case. And so again, it has thrown me for a loop and just kind of weirded out, about the whole thing. But anyways, that's kind of why I have been a little distant. It's just that my mind is literally somewhere else. The area that we're going to, or the state, because we're moving out of state, out of California, which again, we kind of always knew we wanted to do, but now that the reality's here, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. We're moving to Texas, northern Texas. That's where the job is taking us, and we do have lots of friends. I have lots of friends up there, and that is one part that kind of makes things, the whole thinking process, a little bit easier. There's also family. My husband has an aunt there, and we will be also very close to Oklahoma, because it would be the northern part of Texas, and my husband's family is all in Oklahoma. So that's, again, those are the things that I should be focusing on, and hopefully that would make things a lot easier in my mind. So this video, which again, I felt like I had to kind of say something about why I have been absent and where my time has been spent. But this video is about this new journal. If you might have seen the process video on how I made the cover, and this is for our hike that we took this year, which is another reason why I have been a little distant and my mind frame being somewhere else. We have gone on this hike for 3 years in a row, and so here's my 2021. This is my 2020 journal, and this is my 2019 journal for each of the hikes. So each time I have gone on these hikes, I have had a panic attack on the first night, and it kind of puts me in a weird, you know, mindset. And so finally my head is a little bit better with regards to this year's hike. And again, I try to be very positive, so I'm not gonna go into much detail about that. I am working on how to fix it, how to, should I use the word fix it? How to cope with it. That's the right way of saying it. So I wanted to show you really quick the previous books, because again, there's a kind of a theme, sort of a theme going on with these journals. The 2019 book I did not make. I bought this journal from Magnolia, from Chip and Joanna Gaines' website. It's a beautiful leather book that came with this journal inside, and so I decided to just use this one. The size was good. I am sad to say that I have not completed the book, but I'm very close to. And I wanted to kind of keep the same size. You know, there's so many books out there, so many ideas. I wish, which I guess I could still do, I could make a handmade cover for this one, although the inside book is not going to be handmade. I might change that because that would be easy, and then I can use this cover for something else. So that way each of these hike journals would be handmade. This is my 2020 book. On this hike, my husband and I were the only ones who went. We started in Mammoth and we ended up in Yosemite. This book I made, and this hike, it was the four of us, my husband, myself, and our two sons, and I made the whole thing from scratch. The cover, which I love, which now I'm realizing I made the exact same thing this year. But this one I made it kind of like a, you know, just a regular TN style, because the size, it's a little bit bigger than a standard TN. I wanted the pages to be wider. And once again, I'm sad to say I am not completely done with this book, as you can see. But I will do it. I will. This is something I have promised myself, and that's okay. But I had fun making the book. So here it is, and it just has a you know, this type of closure where I'm gonna tie it. I wanted to talk about this paper here. It does look like leather, but it's not. It's actually paper. It is craft text. It's craft paper fabric. And you can make all sorts of things, and the awesome thing about it is that it is paper, and you cannot rip it. This sucker it's indestructible. So it is one of the heavy duty materials that you can use if you don't have leather, or you don't want to work with leather. And as you can see, I have covered it with fabric. And this is a pocket here. Oops, there's something in there. And I love it. I truly love this material. I am pretty much out. I think I only have the black. It comes with 2 sheets of each color, natural white, black, stone, and chocolate. So 10 sheets. They're 8.5 by 11, and I got it on Amazon. I don't remember how much it was, but I mean, you can definitely make all sorts of awesome things with it. I believe that some of it comes in printed instead of just a solid. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, I will have a link of that here below. So let's move on to this journal here, which again, I hope that you got a chance to see the process video. It's a you know, fabric. I found this beautiful, which I couldn't believe it. It's like a map with mountains in it, and I saw it and I knew right away that I was gonna use it for this. I had a different technique that I wanted to apply for the journal cover, But because of the fabric, I ended up just making it plain, meaning I wanted to be able to see the pattern because that's the beauty of it. And then you can see here, this is just a little bit of burlap. This is a little chipboard, you know, plate that I painted to match this green. I had this wood veneer, this says Journey, and I painted it blue to go with that. And these little numbers here, just where I put the date. And then on the inside, it's stitched around, but I did use some, where is it? This glue liquid stitch to kind of put it together. So I didn't have to pin it because I kind of hate that. So, but once it was glued and in place, then I went ahead and did the stitching, and I made it. Obviously, this is not going to be the book that I'm going to be using, although it would be perfect for it, but of course not. I'm going to use this, which I was flipping through the pages as I was talking earlier. But I put this in here so you could see the whole point of why I made the book, the cover the way I made it, because this is how I want to insert this new book that I'm going to be making. And so I will just slide the cover in there, and again, it happened to be pretty much the exact same size as this page right here, which is a 6x8. So I like the wider pages because then I can fit, this is a 4x3 photo. This is just, I just grabbed it. So see, you can see that I can fit a photo this way with no problem. And here are the photos from the actual hike this year, which this year we ended up doing the exact same hike that my husband and I did back in 2019. Last year we did a loop. This year we started in Mammoth and ended up in Yosemite. Unfortunately, my oldest son couldn't go because of course he's an adult now and has responsibilities, and he had work, a new job that he had just started, and also summer school because here we go again. This is what this whole move is affecting everyone. He's going to be starting his third year in college this fall, and he won't be able to come with us because he will be starting his fourth year, hopefully, once we are already in Texas, and we don't want him to have to move schools, so he's gonna have to stay here and finish school here and then move, which again, by the time he gets there, God willing, we will be all settled in. But anyways, more information here. He was not able to go on this hike here, and so you see I've already printed my photos, so I'm ready to go. I have all the photos for all these books. I just have to get to them. So here are some of these photos that I knew I wanted because the scenery is so beautiful. I want them as large as possible, and this will be able to fit in the new journal. So if you saw my Instagram stories, I had already made a book, and maybe I should show it to you. I had already made this book, very different in the cover. This is, what would I call this? You know, stencils that you might find, they're made from this material here. So it's kind of a thick plastic, but kind of, it's thick but very pliable. And so I had this, I don't know, maybe I forgot what size it was, but a very large sheet, and I thought, you know what, let's make something different this time for the cover. And I was gonna decorate it, but so I made the book. I found papers that I had, and you know, I want to use what I have, and so this was a camping packet that I had from Echo Park, I believe. And so I had made the book using other, you know, grid paper that I had printed, and I made the book. Kind of a straightforward book. Put a butterfly in the middle. I did the stitching in the middle. And anyway, so this was my idea, what I started with for this hike. But I had purchased or I placed an order with scrapbook.com. I had purchased, because I saw these, they were having a sale, and I always like dies because it's something that I can just keep reusing and, you know, creating things for ephemera for my books. So I bought this, and it's this little sign, which again, I you know, you can write different information in here. So I bought this, and I also bought this, which is, it's a die that looks like burlap. You know, if you fray your burlap, that's what it reminded me of. And so I bought this, and with the order came this sheet. They had this little advertisement for this kit, and it's by 49 in Market, and this is the Vintage Artistry Travel Hike More. That's the name of the collection, and I saw it and I fell in love with it. So this is what it showed me, and I went and did more research and saw all the papers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make my new hike journal with this collection. So I went ahead, placed the order, and therefore I had to put this guy away and wait for this to come. And again, found the fabric, and doesn't it look like it's just perfect? I was so happy, which is what I wanted. I've been waiting for those feelings to come back of excitement and you know, to get in there and make stuff and find the love for it again. And so I was very thankful that once I saw that little sheet, this one here, I felt that. And my drive once again to get up here in my craft room kind of came back. I'm trying very hard to hold on to it, but sometimes it's just, you know, I don't know. Anyways, the paper collection came, which you saw me flipping through it, and this kit or this package came with 4 sheets of each design, which, you know, I mean, it's good, I guess, because I guess I could make 2 books, because I'm not gonna repeat the same you know, pages. I can't remember how many now. You know, I can use 2 of each and save the other half for a different book, and of course they're double-sided, so that also will help. But you know, so that's 4 designs, again double-sided. That's 4, 5, so I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 6. So 7, so it was 8, not even quite, because so it was 7 different patterns. And then these 2 sheets, this is the cover and this is the cover, how they packaged it. So again, there are 8 designs, 4 pages of each. And then it also included, which these are gorgeous, these little laser cut pages, pull apart, 2 of each. So 2 of these, and the backs, you can use them like that, but obviously the front is beautiful. So that's a lot. That was a lot on this pack. So I will be able to use half of these and have leftover for a different book. I also bought the 12 by 12 pack, and some pages, these ones were separate. These are journaling cards, so I bought 2 of those. Actually, it was 1 pack, and I think it came with 2 of them. And then it's the exact same pattern as the smaller ones, but on a 12 by 12, so the pattern is much larger. see. And then this is the cover. The cardstock itself, it's really thick, really thick, which I wish it wasn't, because I am going to be folding some of these pages, and or maybe not, because this is one thing that I'm interested to work with this book, that again, that's what I will be showing you. This is how I'm going to use these pages to create the book. So I might not have to be folding these. I might be cutting them in the same size as this, but we'll see. Butterflies, all sorts of neat little things. And again, I definitely have enough for 2 books here. I also got an ephemera pack with lots of goodies. I have everything in my little tray over there. And a chipboard. And these are, they're not rub-ons. They are calling it washi tape. So we'll see how that works. But this is the kit I'm going to be using. This is the cover for the journal. And I will be using these guys as well. So that is the update. So before I just kind of start working on the project, on the pages, I wanted to share what I'm going to do, because I feel like it's better to explain it live than if I had to do a voiceover. So I'm going to explain how I ended up deciding to use all these 6x8 pages. Normally I would fold pages, fold different paper, and create signatures, which in a sense I'm kind of going to be doing that with these, but I kept trying to figure out a way, because these pages are so thick. I wanted to leave them as they were. Obviously, I wanted to use the pages like this, and obviously one way that you can do that is by punching holes and maybe creating that binding with the cinch machine, or maybe rings that you can attach. So that's one way that you can use these type of pages. But I wanted to use them like if I was going to use a, if I was to fold a piece of paper and have one sheet turn into 2. So this is what I came up with. I've been looking a lot about how to use the Coptic stitching for binding books. And I thought, that might be a way that I can bind this particular book because of the way the pages are. So what I decided to do is some of the fabric, I cut a piece of that fabric because obviously it matches. It has all the same colors. And let's see, what size is that? I just kind of eyeballed it. I just cut 2 strips, and this is about 5.5. So I cut 2 pieces, about 1.5 by 5.5, and I put one on the front and one on the back. And then I went all the way around with my sewing machine. But whenever I try to fold it, the middle, because they're not actually together, they're only together on the edges, so the center just kind of, they're not attached. So I put another stitch right in the middle, and that's gonna make it easier for me to for the pages to turn like this. So I keep saying so, I want to stop saying that. I've arranged my pages in a way that when I flip the book, except this one because I did it before, I wanted the pages to kind of match a little bit in the sense of color. And you'll see this one, the other side, there's another page that kind of goes with it, and you'll see. But anyway, so this one is going to look like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the next 2 pages together. So that way when I stack them on top of each other, like this one will be next to that one. And then when I open the next page, this one will be next to this one. And so that means that these 2 pages are going to be joined together like that one. And so when they're folded, then I'm going to put them on top. And then I'm going to join this one and this one together. and then when I fold them, these two will be next to each other, and so on and so on. Because instead of putting the pages inside of each other like we would normally do for a signature, like this, right? If this was a regular, you would put one here, and then you would add your next page in here, and then the other one in here, and that's how you create your signature. So in my case, I'm going to be making these pages, right? And then I'm gonna have two, and then I'm gonna have the next one is gonna go on top, and then the next one on top, and so on. And then I will be stitching them together using that Coptic stitching or binding, and then I will put a cover on the front and the back, and that's what's gonna slide inside the journal. That makes sense, hopefully. So that is the goal here for this. And so each of the pages will have this little strip of fabric, which is, it's gonna be fine. You know, they'll be part of the embellishment. So if I add a photo, for example, there, again, it's gonna kind of look nice, I think, right? To have this little bit of interesting fabric, and you will see all the little all the bits and pieces of the fabric over here. Actually, you won't be able to, because they're gonna go inside the book. So that is my idea on how I'm going to be working on these. I wanted to show you and explain it because it's better than me just to do a voiceover or run out of time. So I will continue doing that, and once I have all my pages together, I will show them to you how they're going to be organized and how the book is going to be put together. And of course, I'm not moving on, like I said, with the video as in just kind of work, because once again, I felt that it might be easier and better for me to explain it live rather than do a voiceover when I'm moving, you know, because you have to speed up the video, and so sometimes it goes way too fast. So I decided to show you all the pages now that they are done. And one little tweak that I did when I was putting them together, on the previous video you saw that I was using washi tape to hold the strips of fabric before I went into the sewing machine, and it wasn't working because the pieces were still moving. One of them, the back side, because you know, if I'm stitching this way, the underneath piece, I'm not looking at it because I sew both of them at the same time. One of them got bunched up on the back, so I had to undo it and redo it again. And so what I did is I bought this specifically for this project. I didn't think I was going to be doing a lot of sewing, but I know that I do use what's it called, glue for fabric once in a while, and I was out, so I bought this one. It's called Liquid Stitch, and so I put a little bead, just a little bit, on either side of the paper, and then put the fabric on top so that it would hold. And then I let it dry, and then I took it to the sewing machine, and that made it 100 times easier than using washi tape. Plus, I didn't have to use up all this washi tape, although this I use for packaging for my Etsy, which I don't have a lot of stuff in there right now, but I'm working on that. I use this for the packaging, so I didn't mind it. So here are all the pages all together, and even though I did say that I wasn't going to use all of these 8 by 8, I still have some that are left, but I ended up using all of these pages are from the 6 by 8 kit rather than 12 by 12 pages that I cut apart, because just the pattern is much better on the smaller size, and I decided to leave the 12 by 12 for embellishing and maybe matting my photos. The other reason why is because I had to see how thick this guy was going to get. And as you can see, it's already getting, it seems like it's chunky, but it's because of the spine. You can see the angle, how it tapers to the front over here. But once I start adding photos and all the embellishments, it's going to even out, and it's going to end up being kind of a square kind of book like this. The other thing is I'm hoping that it's going to fit right inside the cover, which I think it will. It should open up pretty large, but let's give it a test. Oh no, oh no, oh man. So here's the ugly truth, right? This book is not going to fit in it. Oh my word, what to do now? Okay. So I kind of been thinking about what I'm going to do, because I don't want to waste any of this. If I would have made a regular insert for this journal, I would not have had any issues. But because I wanted to use these pages, again, I had to figure out how to do it. I decided to use the fabric, and the fabric is what's made it really bulky. So the moral of the story here is if you're gonna make something like this, make the book first and then the cover, instead of the other way around, which is what I did. I don't wanna waste anything, right? So what I've decided to do is, luckily I still have one more sheet of this brown craft fabric paper. So I'm gonna have to cut here in half. So this is the plan. This is the plan, and I hope it's gonna work. I'm going to cut here and then sew, sew the edge, just so that nothing, the fabric won't fray, anything like that. And I'm going to cut a piece of this and add it on the side. Obviously it won't be that big, so it will be something like this, maybe a little less. So it'll be something like that. So I'm going to add a spine on the end so that this distance becomes wider, and therefore, and obviously as well this way, so that when the whole book wraps around the cover, it will come to the end over here, and that should fix the problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I will stitch these guys. Oh, I have to put a cover of it on this over here, because that's the page that's gonna slide on either side over here. So I will do that. I will try and record what I did so you guys can see, and then hopefully again I'll be just not talking and just showing you what I'm doing. Okay, if you guys have questions, you can always write them down below, and I will make sure to do the best I can to answer them. Okay, I fixed the problem. Don't ever doubt yourself. There's always a solution. So I added an additional spine. I did 2 pieces just to make sure it's really well reinforced. And now the moment of truth. I will put my pages inside and voila. I don't mind this. This little thing here is sticking out because it's gonna stick out, as you can see here. It is sticks out farther than all the pages, so that's okay. I don't mind. I actually like having things sticking out. I just want to make sure all the pages are in there, and they are. So that will work. I am happy that I didn't have to, you know, that the fix was pretty easy. And it kind of, I don't know, I mean, you know, luckily it worked out great that I had additional of the craft paper. And of course I chose that because of the brown on the drawing over here. And it works. Nothing sticks out. Once everything, you know, is stitched together, we should be good to go. So the next thing will be figuring out how to do this Coptic stitching. I gotta put the cover so that then they can slide on either side. And then maybe what we'll do is I'll do another video, a third video, because now the cover will be one video, this whole thing with the pages is a second video, and then the embellishment of the photo of the pages inside, a different one, because it'll be too long. But I have arranged the pages in the order which they will be in the book. So as if I'm turning pages here, this is how they will line up. And I had to make sure that if there was writing on the pages, that everything was right side up. I don't know, maybe people might not care about that. I kind of do. So, and this was a kind of a cool little addition that I did. The kit, the ephemera pack, came with a few large journaling cards. And so what I did is, this is a page right here. And I glued these two because they were single-sided. I glued them together, and then this is gonna become a pocket. I will probably end up doing either washi tape on these two ends. I don't wanna stitch it. I don't know, maybe I'll stitch it before I put this, you know, all the pages together. And then, so this will become a pocket. Come on. So that I can add a tag, not this big, but it'll stick out. Let's see, I have a small one here. You know, maybe I'll do 2 tags. Not this ones, but you know, I can add 2 tags in here inside the pocket, and these will be sticking out of the book as well. So, you know, so that was a fun addition to the pages. And again, when I was putting everything together, I was aware of what colors, and so when these two lined up, you know, they look nicer. Some pages didn't work out. Like, I'm not happy how this this page goes with that, but I'll probably have a photo and it will cover most of it, so that's okay. But as you can see, I kind of tried to keep the pages very well coordinated. And so this is how the book, I really like this new technique, hopefully the you know, the Coptic stitching, because it, as you can see, even just by me flipping like this, the pages open up so nicely and flat. But because the cover of the book is going to slide in here, I can just take the book out, work on it, and then insert it into the cover once I'm done. So you can see how everything kind of flows, although this one is actually upside down. Oh, I might have to rearrange that. Yep, the letters were upside down. So this page, although it matches better with this and this here, this way it won't, but it's okay, right? It's totally fine. Most of the pages will be covered with journaling and photos and stuff. And so here is the other fun page that I did. Same deal. I had only one extra. It came with 3 this journal cards, whatever. And I needed a 4th one so I can create a pocket. And so I added that like that. And I don't know. I will see what I am going to do. If I'm gonna leave it as, again, as a pocket, or I can just glue it and just use it as like a photo frame. I can just add a photo right here like that. I will decide once I start, working on the decoration of the pages, but I thought this was kind of cool. It's a double, it's 2 different colors. But this brown went better with this, although that ended up being upside down. And then it has the brown and brown here, which again, it will probably be cover, but so it looks very nice, I think. And I ended up with 12 of these. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 of these, but when we fold it in half, that makes them 24. And then when you count front and back, that makes it 48. So 48 pages altogether, plus anything else. If I want to add something else in here, I can glue a tag or something, and then it can become an additional sort of page. I'm done. I'm done with this part. I'm gonna have to, because I don't want this video to be too long, I'm gonna have to do a 3rd part, which will be how I'm going to decorate the pages. So let me show you what this guy ended up looking like once I did the Coptic stitching. I think there's another name and I can't remember what it's called, but so here it is. It's not by any means perfect because this was my first time and I did not want to film that part because I knew I was going to be messing up and fixing, and I did. There was a few stitches here at the end on both ends that I know that there's definitely several mistakes. And there are tons of other people out there that show how this stitching works. These 3 here in the middle, they look pretty good. They look like little tiny braids going up and down. So overall, I am happy. And let me do a little quick flip here. I ended up putting this the wrong direction. I didn't want my marks to show, which I think they're not pencil. Yep, I used the pen because it's not going to show. This tab is going to be inserted on the side of the journal, so it's not going to show. And I didn't really want to do another cover for it because that's what this guy is for. So here it is. I'll just do a very quick little flip through and you can see the difference because I did each page individually as if it was its own signature. That's why you will see, each of the pages, there'll be the stitching in the middle, and then this is the part where they're joined together. The one thing I can tell you is that because I use fabric, it was easy in the sense of the needle going through. But if it was paper, the holes, because you have to make holes where the stitching is gonna go, just like I did on this cardboard here, I could not see them. I could not see any dots, and I really didn't want to make any, harsh marks on each of the holes that each of the pages was going to have. So I did mark a line here. I grabbed all the pages and then I just kind of went, let's see, with the pencil like this. So that once I did a couple of them, I could line them up very easily. And so you will see the stitching and then the joint, or it's not the joint, but you know, where they're stacked on top of each other. And I like it. I do like this type of stitching because as you can see, the pages lay flat once you flip them over. And I think that's going to, see, they're just very flat, and that's gonna make it easy versus if it was a book. As the book gets chunkier, it's harder to work inside the pages because of the bulk. But I don't foresee that in here because the pages just lay so nicely flat. And I think I'm going to start using this technique from here on whenever I make any other handmade journals. The colors look great. Sometimes, you know, these two, they don't kind of go in the sense of color, but once they're covered with ephemera and photos, they'll be fine. I do like the little frame and the little, you know, little remnants of the thread of each of these strips here. I like it. I ended up using this other, I don't know where I found these. There was just, it's like a ribbon, but it's almost like canvas, a very thin canvas. And so I trimmed a lot of it, which I will use these little pieces to create tabs or to add to other tags like this. So that's gonna work. So very quickly, here they are. This is probably, there's two of these that are one of my favorites, and like I said, they were just journaling cards, and I'll be able to add, I was working on, I posted a photo of how I'm going to embellish some of the pages. So this is where this guy came from. This one's a little too large because it's just gonna stick too far out from the book. And the problem with that is that I have to tie it and it might not work so well. So that's the book. Now, as you saw, I had to adjust the journal, the cover, I should say, because once I made the pages, because this cardstock is so thick, and this is definitely a very out-of-the-box book because of how how the pages were, you know, how I'm going to use them. They were single sheets, and how to join them, and the adding the fabric, it's what added the bulk. So it worked okay. Now it fits, but I went ahead and tested it, how it's going to fit inside here, and it does fit, but it's a little awkward to open. And so I think I'm going to have to do a little adjustment. And what I mean by that, so once all the both of the covers are inside, it closes fine. So it closes like that, but when I open it, you see how it stays like this. Again, this is a very unique book. It's my book, so it's okay. You know, there's people that probably have a better way, or a better technique on how to make this work. This is the first one that I've done, and I'm okay with it. So instead of, it pulls out. So this, as the book opens and closes, is going to be sliding in order to be able to fold and turn the pages. But once I have to close it, then it goes right back in. So what I decided to do, instead of doing, leaving both of the covers inside, I'm gonna take this one out, because it just fits much better like this. The cover will cover the entire, the cover will cover, the cover will, you know, hold and host all the pages nice and neatly. And then when I open, if I don't have that other side pulling or holding it in place, this side opens nice. And so I'm going to just leave this side tucked in there, which will keep the book in place, and not use that side. And then instead, maybe I can use this pocket for something else. And then I can flip the pages easily, no problem, nothing gets stuck, and it's easier for me to open and close. That's it for this one, guys. I will move on to the next one. Once all the videos are in, they'll all be linked together. I don't know if I should just wait until they're all done, probably, and then upload them all at the same time. That way you don't have to wait. So thank you so much for watching. I will get working on the other one, and for sure, once I start decorating my pages, I am just going to keep it in silence. I will be in silence, and then just let you watch how I'm going to decorate some of these pages, not all of them. So until the next video, I'll see you in a little while. Thank you.